This video is about recording algebraically what you see on an algebra tile mat. Please note that I did recognize that I had used an equation mat instead of an expression comparison mat, so please forgive that error and note that we are not solving equations but comparing expressions. So the expression on the left-hand side will have a group that has 6x plus 7, and it's indicated that it will be in the positive region, so I'll put the pieces up here. And then the second group that contains 3 plus 3x minus 5 is indicated that it's in the opposite group, so I'll put those pieces down here. On the right-hand side, our first expression group that contains a negative 6 plus a 2x is indicated that it's in the opposite region, so I'll put it down here. And the second group that contains a 6 plus 5x minus 8 is indicated that it's in the positive region, so I'll put those pieces up here. So on the left-hand side in the positive region, we don't see the positive sign, but if there'd be a sign there, it'd have to be positive. There are 6 positive x's up here, and then there are 7 positives in the units. Then in the opposite region, we have 3 positive units, 3 positive x's, and then 5 negative units. On the right-hand side, in the opposite region, we have a group of 6 negative units and 2 positive x's. In the positive region, we have 6 positive units, 5 positive x's, and 8 negative units. So the first thing that I would do in solving this is I would flip all of these pieces from the opposite region into the positive region, and all of these flip and put into the positive region. So 6x plus 7 is already in the positive region. I just need to worry about that flipping. And then when those were flipped, the units, I have 3 negative units now. When the x pieces are flipped, I now have 3 negative x's. And when the final units are flipped, I have 5 positive for the units. So in looking here, I had 3 positives, now I have 3 negatives. There were 3 positive x's, now there are 3 negative x's. There were 5 negative units, and now there are 5 positive units. Everything that was in the opposite region has now been flipped and has opposite values. So on to the right-hand side. So just this group down here is going to be flipped. So those 6 negatives when they were flipped are now 6 positives. The 2 x's when they were flipped are now 2 negative x's. And then everything else that was already in the positive region is just what it is. So I didn't make any changes there. I could just eliminate them as a group, so now they're individual pieces. So now I need to work on simplifying. I know that the 6x and the negative 3x will combine together, and those 3 negative x's will cancel 3 of the positive x's, and they would be removed as a 0 and leave me with 3x. And then combining the units, I know that these 3 negatives will cancel 3 of the positive units. So this one, this one, this one, and 3 of these will cancel to make zeros, and that will leave me with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 positive units. Or I can think of that as being 7 and 5 is 12, minus 3 is 9, or plus a negative 3 is 9, either way. On the right-hand side, these 2 negative x's and this 5x, 2 of the negative x's will cancel 2 of the positive x's and leave me with 3 positive x's. For the units, these units together make 12 positive units, and then I'm going to be taking away 8 units. That will leave me with 4 units. So I need to take away those 8 and 8 of these. They'll cancel and leave me with 4 positive units. For balancing, first with my x's, those 3 x's and these 3 x's will be removed from both sides to balance. So once those are removed, and I need to show that down here, I am left with 9 units on the left and 4 units on the right, and I can clearly see that 9 is greater than 4.